And welcome back, and it is the 9th of April, further maths 5 a day, and let's just go straight to the first question. Right, what do we have? So M is the midpoint of AB, the coordinates of M are 7, 2, B gives me C, oh, and then it says work out the area of triangle ACM. I'm pausing because this seems very difficult. This seems like a cosine rule question where I need to work out the lengths of the sides, work out the angle, and then do half sine AB. Let's start by working out what A is. Okay, now how I'm going to do that, so I need to work out the coordinates of A. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to think that to get from B to the midpoint, I go from 11 to 7, and to be clear, I'm looking at these 2 points here. So I go from 11 to 7, which means I go down 4, and I go from 8 to 2, which means I go down 6. Now that is also the same as the move I do to go from M to A. So if I start from the coordinates of M, which are 7, 2, so again, I'm now looking at just the coordinates of M, which is 7, 2. That means the coordinates of A will take my X value of M, which is 7, and take away 4, and that gives me 3. And then take my Y coordinate of M, which is 2, take away 6, which gives me minus 4. Right, has that helped me? Genuinely thinking this is a really difficult question. There must be a clever way of doing this. I'm going to do something I say don't often do. I'm going to try and draw a diagram. I think I've just worked out what it is. Okay, I've seen it. I have to say, I think this question will be too hard for an exam. Not without a hint or not without something first to help you. And you may have spotted it before I did. I've only just realised what it is. Let's draw a diagram. So we've got M. Now I'm going to draw this reasonably accurately. So I've got A, which is 3 minus 4. So, very rough coordinate grid. So 3 minus 4 is here. So there's my A. I've then got M, which is 7, 2. So that goes across 7 and goes up 2, which is here. So that's my M. And then B. Now the key point is that B is, C, which is the point I need. So I'm doing the triangle ACM. So C is the point 7. So 7 across and minus 4 down. In other words, it is on the same y-axis as A and x-axis as M, which means that's a right angle triangle. And suddenly this question's got easier because now I'm doing half height times base. I thought I was going to have to do a cosine rule and work this backwards. I think in an exam you'd get a part A and it'd be something to do with prove something's perpendicular, and then you're using the fact it's perpendicular. It's not helped you with that at all. So all I need to do here is work out the length of, what is this, C, isn't it? So work out the length of A to C and multiply that by the length of M to C, and then take a half of those values. In other words, half height times base. Wow, okay. Let's make this a little bit easier. So I'm just going to get rid of this axis because that's slightly annoying. And I'm going to do something clearly you can't do it in an exam, which I'm just going to move this over to here. So I can just write the coordinates on, and then I'm just going to move my A value down here. Basically what I'm trying to do is try and make it neater so I can show you what I'm doing. So the point A is 3 minus 4, and the point C is 7 minus 4, and the point M is 7, 2. Which means hopefully you can now see that M to C, well, it's on the same X value, so therefore it's just a change in different colour. It's just a change in Y, which is 6, and A to C is the change in X, which is 4. So actually this is just going to be a half times by 6 times by 4, which is 24 over 2, which is 12 units squared. Wow. That's well, maybe I'm just being slow. That's a difficult question because it doesn't give you any help. I've seen a question like this in A level, and you had to do the cosine rule, you had to do some vector maths, but actually this wasn't too bad once I spotted it. Let's move on. Hopefully it gets a bit easier from now. Expand and simplify. Okay, so we're back to just straight maths again. So I can do this one. So let's just do the math. So 1 minus x, it seems easy to expand this. So that's going to be x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now, interesting, this is back to front, but I'm still going to do it the same way. I'm going to multiply by 1 first, but keep my columns consistent. So that's going to be x squared plus 4x plus 4. And then I'm going to multiply everything by minus x. That's going to be minus x cubed so it's minus x times 4x, which is minus 4x squared. And minus x times 4 is minus 4x. And let's bring all this together over here. So that's going to give me minus x cubed. Minus 3x squared. 4x minus 4x goes away, and that just leaves me with plus 4. That one was not too bad. Next question. solve the inequality. Now, you've seen any of my videos before, you know I feel the need to try and factorise everything. It's a further maths exam. If it's a non-calculator, it's almost definitely factorisable, not definitely. That said, there's a couple of things that make this easier. So first of all, these are both pluses, which means I'm fairly confident these are pluses. No, I'm not fairly confident. These are definitely pluses. Because 5 only factorises down to 5 and 1, I'm going to also presume that's 5 and 1. So really the question is, where's the 1 go and where's the 2 go? Well, I want 7. And so 7 is 5 plus 2, so therefore I'm going to need 1 lot of 5 and 2 lots of x, and that must be my answer. To the factorising, remember I'm still doing an inequality, so that's greater than 0, which means my critical values are minus 2/5 and minus 1. Quick sketch, always draw a sketch. So minus 2/5 is greater than minus 1. I want the values that are greater than, so therefore my answer is x is less than minus 1, or x is greater than, draw that neatly, greater than minus 2/5. And that's question done. Not too bad. Next question. Right, okay, so it gives me 3 matrices and it says work out the matrix A, B, C. Now the thing to remember about matrices is I can do A times B and then times C. So in other words, I could do A, B and then C, or I could do A times B, C, but what I can't do is I can't do them back to front. So I must do them in that order. So what shall I do? Well, I'm going to do, let's do AB first, may as well. So AB is equal to, I'm going to write it out only because it's easy to make a mistake if you don't. So 4, 2, and then minus 1754, so minus 1754. And then if I multiply it out, so top row times left column, so minus 3 times minus 1 is 3, 4 times 7 is 28. Bottom row left column, so 1 plus 14. Top row right column, so minus 15 plus 16. Minus 1 times 5 is minus 5 plus 8. And let's bring all of that together and I get 31. Try and write it so I can read it. 31, 1, 15 and 3. Okay, and then I'm going to take my answer there, which is going to be AB, and then I'm going to multiply that by C. So it's going to be 31, 1, 15, 3. And multiply all that by minus 3, 2. Now, quick check on conformability. So in other words, this is a 2 by 2 and this is a 2 by 1. These are the same, so that's good. And my new matrix is a 2 by 1. So my answer is a 2 by 1. So top row, or first number, top number, is going to be 31 times minus 3, which is minus 93. And then I'm going to add on 2. And I'm going to do 15 times minus 3, which is minus 45. And then I'm going to add on 6. Which means my final answer is going to be minus 91 and minus 39. And that's my answer to the last question, minus 91, minus 39. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. I'm actually also going to do, so I did this one. I'm also going to do that one just to show you that does work, because you might have done it the second way. So I'm going to pause the video. The answer is going to appear and then we'll end the video. And you can see the second method also gives me minus 91, minus 39. Unsurprisingly, otherwise maths doesn't work. But either way, 2 different ways, get the same answer. Hopefully you got there. Good mix of questions today. I say that first question was bad. It was quite nice when it kind of hit me and I worked it out. I like that. In the exam, that would be horrible because you're sort of not sure what to do. Like I say, the cosine rule version I have seen, but not at a GCSE level, only at an A level. Either way, let me know how it went for you. Maybe you spotted the first one quicker than I did. Do like, subscribe. See you tomorrow. Thanks all.